finally ready for some girl chat. Awesome. They're ready.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Well, we love you guys so much. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes.
All right, now, Jeannie, last week, you told us about your missing wedding ring. Do you guys remember this?
Yes.
Now, okay, I don't know about, did you guys pray? I know I was praying, and I know a lot of the fans have been saying that they were praying hard to help you find it. So I have to ask, what's the update, girl?
You guys, your prayers worked. I'm not kidding you. No, that's crazy. You guys tweeted in prayers. Freddie found out, obviously, because we ratted it out on air, and he was like, you better find your ring. I am so embarrassed right now. He was like snapshotting YouTube comments where people were praying like St. Peter, St. Anthony. I was like,
St. Anthony. It's definitely St. Anthony.
Oh, okay. Well, we had so many saints, all of them were getting prayed for. So, guys, I found my ring. I found it. Woo! Where is it? Yeah. Okay. So, it's really weird how faith works. Sometimes when you don't believe yourself and somebody helps, like, encourage you, they're like, I'm praying for you, I'm praying for you. Jeannie, I believe you can find it. Somebody even went out and said, it's in a red and black shoebox. I know where it is. I can see it in my mind. And I was like, wow, yeah, for real. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go look in my house. So I cleaned my house from top to bottom, and I couldn't find it, but my house is really clean. And I was like, I'm so tired. Okay, so I went into
Your house is really clean, but you couldn't find it.
She cleaned the whole house.
I cleaned it. I know.
She didn't find it, so the house just
So
got
I went
clean.
into my medicine cabinet, and I was like, I'm going to just wash my face, right? I opened my medicine cabinet, I moved my makeup aside, and one of the bottles fell out, a foundation bottle, and it went click, 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 click. And I was like, wait, hold on. And it instantly, Mama Mai, her voice came in my head, and I remember she would tell me when I was younger, you know how you have, like, pieces of jewelry from Christmas presents or stuff? She would say, when you hide the nice thing you never put in the jewelry box, that's what the rich people do. Yes. And she would say,
robbers know to go there.
yeah, she would say, we're not rich, but we smack. So when you smack, you put the jewelry where the robber, they don't look the makeup.
Smart.
Robber, they don't look at the makeup because they're the boys.
They're the
Robbers are
boys.
sometimes, right?
Sometimes.
That is so funny, and I
Right.
can totally hear her saying this.
It's so true. So, you guys, I opened my foundation bottle, and in the lid were my rings. You helped me find it. I love you, Freddie. I love you.
Mama Mai, but please don't do that again.
I know, never.
Yeah.
No.
I do like
I'm
the
not.
way Mama Mai says smart. What is it again?
Smack.
Smart. Smart.
Yeah, you smack. I don't know why they say that. You smack. You very smack. It's weird. I don't know why.
That's so funny.
But Adrian, okay, so I also heard, there's a lot of news here, you'd like to discuss something as well.
Oh, yes, this is very exciting. Okay, as you guys may know, I am engaged to be married to the love of my life, Israel Houghton. And so for me, preparing for marriage is more so planning our lives together and making sure that we both enter into marriage with a stable foundation and for the right reasons.
I love that.
So with that being said, what I wanted to talk about today was the fact that I started premarital counseling, you guys.
I love that.
And if you aren't familiar with what premarital counseling is, for me, we are having up our pastor.
Yes.
A pastor is actually working with us, the person who we are hoping is going to marry us. And growing up, the way I was raised was you take premarital classes, premarital counseling. They ask you great questions. It's almost like a therapy session, but I've never been to therapy before, so this is the closest I've ever gotten to it.
Wow.
And they make sure that you've got a great foundation that if I was a minister and I was going to marry somebody, I wouldn't just marry just anyone. I'd want to know that I'm bringing a union together that is doing it for the right reasons and under the covenant of God.
I love that.
Yeah. So I went for the first time.
How was it?
Did you like it?
So I was so
Did you guys
scared
go
because I didn't
separately or
know.
together?
We went together.
Okay.
Yes.
What kind of questions?
Okay.
Yes.
They asked. Obviously, they could see that we're very much in love.
Yes.
But like you always tell me, marriage takes more than that.
Yes.
So they asked us, we actually had to go home and do homework that was more so soul searching as to what do we see our purpose together in life. Like
that.
bigger than like just being in love.
They gave you homework?
Yeah, what do we think our purpose is
We talked
in
about
life
that.
together? Do we have a shared purpose, a shared goal in life?
Yes.
And I loved that because
Yes.
it's greater than just, oh, I love you and I'm in love with you.
Yes.
But what is the greater purpose for our love together?
He's
What
going
can
to
that
be-
represent
Yes.
to the world? What can we offer to other couples?
Yes.
It was
What other
pretty
questions
deep.
they asked?
Trying to think. Oh, they asked about distrust, like, that sort of thing. Like, Adrian, what do you feel about, like, real questions that are like, you've been in a relationship before where there has been, what's the word I'm looking for? Infidelity and things of that sort. How do you feel about that? Do you trust each other 100%? And we kind of delved into that. And it actually got kind of weird because my natural reaction to questions like that is to not look stupid.
Oh,
And I have a fear of embarrassment that I ever would go out on the limb and say, I know 100% this person would never do that to me, out of fear that I'd look stupid one day. And my answer was, I don't put anything past anyone. And what does that say? That I had like a little bit of a
guard up.
a guard up. Now, my guard isn't up to Israel, but it's up to opening myself up to other people. Does that make sense?
Like you're not being completely transparent with the person who's trying to kind of help you guys.
Correct. And then at some point, that came down, and it was a very honest and
Didn't
great...
that feel amazing?
Yeah.
It did.
Yes.
It felt
That's
really good.
awesome.
So, I wanted to ask you guys, all three of you have been married. Some people don't know, Lonnie, you have been married before.
Don't tell my business.
Well done. You said it on the show.
Lonnie, this
You
is the table of
said it.
trust, Lonnie.
Yeah.
You said it on the show.
Stop it.
You were married. Tell them. Tell them.
America, I was married.
There you go. The truth will set you free. Why do you hate saying that so much?
Because it was the worst 6 months of my life.
No. See, and this is what it is. This is called
this is
the
real.
And I love that, Lonnie.
And that's why I'm very
Did you-
happy that you're taking premarital counseling.
Did you do
because- No, of course. That's why I'm divorced.
No, but wait. But wait. With that said, there's a lot of wisdom behind this. What would you say is maybe something that Adrian should
Yes.
bring up in
What kind
counseling?
of advice
Yes.
could we give Adrian
Yeah.
to
How
set
can
her
I
up for
avoid-
success,
Yeah, how
Lonnie?
can I avoid
Okay,
having
well,
the worst
let's
6 months of my
start
life?
from the high part to the low, okay? So
Okay.
you start first, since you're most successful with children and kids.
Okay.
You're single, but you're still married, and then I'm divorced. Okay, so let's go.
Go for it. What
Okay.
advice did you give? And did you do premarital counseling?
I did.
Okay.
It was very important to Adam and I, and our pastor, hi, Pastor Dudley, he thought it was important to, definitely give us premarital counseling before he married us. And it
Yes.
helped us definitely in the long run, so I'm so happy you are doing it.
Yes.
One of the biggest things that I learned is about communication. People will tell you that, but a lot of the times when you communicate, you're already thinking about your rebuttal. You're not really truly listening to what the person is saying. And here's the big one. You have to try to understand what they're saying. That's the biggest one.
Yeah.
And then there's one more, okay?
I'm ready.
This helped us out a lot. Our pastor said, make sure that you don't build a wall too high, because you know how sometimes you can get into an argument.
Little
a
resentments build up.
grudges.
Yes.
And he calls it laying bricks, right? Make sure you don't lay too many bricks that you can't, walk over that wall.
Yes.
So when you have an issue, don't run from it.
Yes.
Talk about it. Face on, no matter what. This really helps us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because in that moment, it really makes me stop and think to not build the wall.
That is very
Okay.
good.
Okay.
To keep your heart
Beautiful.
soft to your husband.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeannie, did you do premarital counseling?
Absolutely, yes. When you're in the honeymoon phase or in the dating phase or even in the early marital phases, very rarely do couples talk about the number one thing that can also break them up, finances. And another thing, Susie Orman says herself, that one of women's weaknesses is not understanding finances to the point that they're comfortable with it. And so some questions that I want to make sure that you or any couples that are walking towards marriage ask are, what's most important to you when it comes to money? What would happen between us if I were to stop working?
We totally had this conversation.
What would happen if you stopped working? What is your biggest fear when it comes to money?
Yeah, like, is he making any?
Yeah, of course. No, I think those are real conversations.
Yes, these are things that not
Oh my
don't you
gosh.
guys agree? Not
No,
everybody
that's-
talks about.
that's real.
Early on
And
in
it's
the- in the-
uncomfortable, but you have to talk
You
about
have
it.
to.
have to talk
How much
about
are
it.
you making? How much I'm making? What
Yes.
do you? What are your expectations of me for what I should make
Yes.
if something were to happen?
Yeah.
You know, and so as long as you guys can talk about that, like that's just a
Easy.
hurdle to get through. That makes things very
Yeah.
comfortable.
Yeah.
To be, in case anything happens, because money changes people, guys.
Yeah, we
it
worked.
really does.
We worked in business together before we were in a relationship, so money was never a weird thing for us to talk about. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah,
that's
so
really
that's like-
good. Good. So
That part's easy.
Yeah, so that's I think that's number one. And number two is honestly figuring out what your intimate life is gonna be like, because you guys are both traveling and you gotta make sure you get that.
Talking about the sex.
You gotta get, I was gonna say, you gotta get some sookie in
Yes.
for sure. And I
Yes.
I think you're gonna have a.
I think you're gonna be fine, but you never know.
Not
with
Adrian.
traveling.
Do we
Adrian
know who
Balon,
we're
you are
talking
gonna get
to?
busier, and so
Yes.
is Israel. And so you know,
Understood.
if you're gonna get busier, make sure you stay busy.
I agree. That is what marriage requires intimacy.
Yes,
Agreed.
absolutely.
Lonnie,
Lonnie.
let's get down to the bottom. She started at the top?
Now we here.
Okay, talk to me. What do you suggest?
I agree with everything they said. Everything they said is the opposite of what I did. So you listen
my
to that
God.
and you'll be okay, all right?
Oh my God.
Seriously, you will be fine. I mean, you're doing your thing. And the main thing is with the finances, with, you know, the intimacy, things like that. It's like, for me, I didn't discuss with him where I wanted to be in my life. You already know where you want to be in your life.
Yeah.
So you'll be okay. And you guys are going to keep walking and going through things. So I think this is a great start. And I want to tell people, because a lot of people feel like therapy is a stigma against it. There is nothing wrong
with it.
talking, because they're professional. They'll ask you a series of questions that maybe your mama, because you can't go to my mama. I went to my mama for therapy. That's probably why I'm divorced. Sorry, mama. She the wrong. Her advice is go to a professional if you really feel like you need the professional help. You
And
know.
that's actually very healthy.
And also people that actually are successful. They're successful.
Yeah.
So, you go to them.
Oh, and I have
and
one
you'll
more.
be okay.
I have one more.
Yes.
Don't forget to keep dating.
Yes!
A lot of
Oh,
the times when
I
people
love
get
that.
married, they forget to
Yes.
go out and
Yes.
enjoy each other.
Yes.
So always make time for that.
Yes.
For
Yes.
sure.